G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the game between Geelong and Fremantle at GMHBA Stadium, and what a performance first up by the Cats. It was quite breathtaking, I must say. Coming home with a 78-point win to start off the season in very fine style. So yes, what a start to the game it was. We were pretty hot early. The pressure was absolutely insane. It reminded me of the 2017 Bulldogs game a little bit, where I think the week before we had 30 or 40 tackles against the Bombers, something like that. And then all week was our lack of tackling was on the agenda. And then I think we got about 133 tackles against the Dogs, and won the game down in Geelong, which was a good game to watch. But yeah, it was a clinic at times, and also quite a raucous potential scare and comeback sort of later in the third. But it started off really well. Skills were relatively polished, looking pretty good around the ground. That half-back counter-punch is as deadly as it's been in quite some time. I think that scoreline overall is definitely one of the larger ones we've produced over the last sort of 7-8 years. 147. So yeah, a couple of other big results. I think the Dockers faced a similar scoreline in GMHBA in 2018. But yeah, life after Tom Hawkins is looking all okay in the forward line. At this stage, it's it's one game in, and things were on our terms for the majority of the game, which was really positive and a good feather in the cap. But the reality of modern day footy is you don't get it on your terms all the time and for the whole game. It's very rare that you get it for the entire game. But it has to be said, for a good chunk of this game we had complete control. We outpossessed the Dockers, out-hunted them. We were applying constant pressure, looking really promising around the ball. Skills were good, a good link up by hand. And what I loved was how I would describe it would be gaining territory imperfectly, which I saw with Bailey Smith and I saw with other players, where it wasn't so much a focus of getting the ball inside 50 with the perfect lace-out pass. It was merely, let's get it forward because we can do some damage. We've got some pretty handy players up there, creating more chaos for the opposition, creating more pressure on the defensive opposition. Thus, creating opportunities for our forward line to get some chocolates at the end of it. And there were plenty of chocolates with that scoreline. What was probably the most impressive was just our ability to keep it inside of 50, and the inside 50 tackle numbers were absolutely outstanding. I can't recall seeing numbers like that from a Cats outfit. So yeah, there was just a desire to keep it inside our front half, and when you do that, it's the easiest way to get scoreboard pressure is when you're keeping the ball in your front half and denying the opposition, because defence is such a weapon as well. If there's lack of pressure, then all of a sudden, we've seen Hawthorn a few times. They have pretty well set plays where they try and release the player on the outside, and then they get in behind really easily. So defensive transition is probably a key part of scoring, and just the fact that we can apply enough pressure there to mitigate against that from happening takes away a fair scoring chain from the op. So yeah, I mean, absolutely brilliant second term, and mind-boggling last quarter with 10 goals. It was looking a bit dicey at three-quarter time, where the Dockers kicked 4 in about 6 minutes. Or the player on debut, Murphy Reid, I believe his name is. Shouldn't be able to forget his name after doing a feat such as that. Don't know if any other player at GMHBA Stadium or Cardinia Park has kicked 4 goals in 6 minutes. Might have to go to the Gary Ablett senior days. I'm going to have to call in some reinforcements to get some further detail on that one, but I won't have the answer for you guys right at the moment. Interesting to speculate that. But yeah, really stoked. Just real even team performance as well, and get sort of stuck into the players as well. As we get to the player stats, post going through some of the general numbers across the two teams. Pretty even on the disposal front, but you wouldn't have known based on the scoreline. Just our bang for buck with the footy was much better. We know the Dockers like to chip it around sideways and backwards a bit. A lot more kicking, yeah. That's quite surprising. I did bump up our handball chain. But yeah, lots of territory gained there. Kicking style to start us off. Plenty of supply up forward there. Plus 12 in the inside 50s. More chances to give your forwards, generally speaking. It depends on those inside 50s as well. It's like clearances and clearances. There's good clearances, and then there's clearances where you run out the front unpressured. So it can be kind of like that with inside 50s. You can have 100 entries, but if they're all top of the 50, 49 metres out to a crowded pack, it's not a quality inside 50. So yeah, be good a stat for quality inside 50s. Quality everything would be good. Be tricky to measure, but they measure a lot of pretty crazy stats. Disposal efficiency pretty even across the board there. The efficiency inside 50 was on display. So yeah, both defences gave it up a little bit when it did go inside 50. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for us, and then 5 out of 10 for the Dockers when they did get inside 50. But only managed the 43 entries, which isn't enough to win your game more often than not. Free kick count plus 5 for the Cats. Lots of holding the ball calls in Geelong's favour there. Is the wonderful tackling that we had on display. Head-outs, Dockers got the chocolates there. Clearances were relatively even there. Pretty even split. From the centre clearance, Dockers had a little bit more ascendancy going their way, and that was probably the only real time that they truly flexed their muscles and looked like they could get a score. But yeah, we still held our own, and when we were on top, I'm sure that's when the majority of our centre clearances would have come from. Around the ground, plus 2 for the Cats. Pretty even on that standpoint. Plus 14 contested ball, really good. Dockers got a little bit more on the outside with uncontested ball, but it was largely chipping backwards and sideways. Turnovers, more to the Dockers off the back of pressure from the Cats. Doubled the Dockers' mark, so we did really well to control the ball. Did a bit of that at the start of the last quarter as well, just to make sure that, just tire the Dockers out a little bit. But generally, when we take more than, I'm going to say probably 80, 90 marks, we're usually in a pretty good spot to be able to get what we want. Marks inside 50, 17 is a massive number, and that's really positive. Kept the Dockers to just 8. So yeah, really good defensive effort and defensive unit on Saturday afternoon. Contested marks were very well in our favour there, almost double the Dockers. Led for the whole game, start to finish, so that was very good to see. Love this stat. Love these two stats. Tackles is just not really personnel related, but you can have some players that they lay lots of tackles, like Tom Atkins is a good example of that, which we'll get to the stats later on. But yeah, tackling is a pure mindset. You don't need to be Wayne Carey to to lay tackles or anything like that. You just need to have a good crack at it, and yeah, it's a team initiative when you get positive reinforcement of holding the ball, all that good stuff. It makes players want to tackle because they can move forward, give the forwards a chance, get the score on the board. 1% in favour of the Dockers. So yeah, good. The stat sheet reads pretty well. It doesn't read like you only won because you kick straight. Scoring shots 23-9, so we've got 19 scoring shots to 32. So yeah, did very well on that front as well. Okay, let's get stuck into the votes, which they're easy-ish. Although I'm probably going to miss someone, and I'll be like, how did you not fit so-and-so in your best 3 players? It was great to see Bailey Smith, and he gets my 3 votes. Great to see him out in the park. just doing what we thought could be possible. After his ACL injury, he's been out of the game for a long time, over 500 days, nearly 600 days out of the game. Kicked a goal, had the 32 disposals as well. He took the 5 marks, had 5 tackles himself, 7 clearances, nearly 700 metres gained, and 2 goal assists from 80% time on ground for him. So yeah, he was superb. He just willed the ball forward. Wasn't always absolutely spot on with his disposal, but just imperfectly gaining territory, as I've kind of mentioned, has been a bit of a theme that I recognise throughout analysing the game and watching it. So yeah, his presence was terrific, energy great, lots of spirit about him. So good to see him in a good mental health space and kicking goals on and off the field. The 2 votes I'm still weighing up as we speak, but I'm going to go with Sam De Koning for the 2 votes. He's near the top of the tree. That also helps. Snapped a nice goal. Had the 25 disposals himself, 6 marks, 4 tackles, 18 hitouts, 3 clearances, and a goal assist as well. I just saw from a ruckman perspective, and it's probably not the first time he's got 20 plus touches and a goal, but I thought his work rate was super high. And then he was just everywhere, kicking goals as well, setting up teammates, just doing a lot of those little 1%ers that may not necessarily be on the stat sheet. And the 1 vote to Max Holmes, it was Max Holmes or De Koning. I thought we'll go SDK. I think he's up higher on the sheet literally because of the hitouts. But Holmesy was brilliant as well. Could easily got the 2. He kicked 2 goals, had the 24 disposals, did a lot of damage early in the game as well when it was up for grabs. 4 marks, 5 tackles, also got the 7 clearances and almost 500 metres gained himself, just over 400. And again, he doesn't have to play 90+% of the game. I think we do that really well with our players where, we have a good balance and, make sure that, people aren't approaching burnout. So that's it's positive to see overall. Alright, we'll go through the rest of the crew. Just, high level, 1-liner, 1 or 2-liners. There we go, It's, it just depends on how I thought about it. Henry could have easily got votes, 14 marks, got a couple of chips back and forth, but he was just resolute in defence, rock solid. Loved his game. Mitch Nevitt played well with his 70% game time, 11 tackles. I did not know that. 4 clearances, was good around the source. Jezza had an interesting game. He was quite early, ended up with the 4 goals, even a couple of clearances. That's the way it goes. Kicked a couple of snags late in the game, and that's the beauty of Jez. I'll love to talk about Jez a fair bit, but he can just rock up, and you don't really know that he's done what he's done, and he can kind of blink and he just kicks 3 and gets 20. So he does that so well. Just absolutely deadly without having too much of the ball or having to be involved the whole game. But he pops up and maximum damage more often than not. So I've gone a book on Jezza. So there you go. Stewart had a bit of a knock early in the game, knocked to his neck, and still ended up with 11 marks. Also chimed in with a goal assist. Just absolute warrior out in the field, and love the way he goes about it. Grant Mars had 14 touches, 6 tackles, goal assist, goal himself, goal of the year possibly. We'll see. It was absolutely fantastic to start the season off. Zathri, 21 and 9 marks. Just he's anchored down back, ever so reliable, and love the way he goes about it in his footy. Humphreys had the 23. Couple of clearances, couple of goal assists as well, almost 600 metres gained. He gets a lot of meterage, he loves a long kick. I'm very interested to see the goal assist tally. No, I can't remember what stat I was after. It must have been disposal efficiency, and I don't think it's going to give me that on this view. So I imagine it was very high, because he's very good at delivering the ball, and more often than not hits someone. Ollie Demp just going to call him Ollie Demp. 2 goals with his 15 touches, 5 tackles as well. Very nicely played from the Demp. Atkins had more tackles than disposals, which is, I'm going to say, fantastic. It's a great effort. He loves a tackle, and we love that he can provide that for the side, that defensive mindset for us, try and win the ball back. But when he gets out of front of the stoppage, look out. He's going to come after you. Blitz was good. 12 touches, 4 marks, 3 clearances. A lot of what Blitz does, goal assist in there as well. A lot of what Blitz does is very, all those little 1%ers and knock-ons and all that good stuff, which is great. Over to Stengel, ended up with the 3 goals from his 12 disposals, had 5 tackles as well. Yeah, very nice cameo for us, and a nice start to the season for Stengel, kicking his 3. Jackie B, he was, I thought he had definitely more than 9 disposals, but a lot of tackles for Jackie B. Kicked a goal as well, involved early on in the game and sort of went out of it a little bit, so he was okay, solid without setting the world on fire. Bradley Close, he kicked a goal, had the 15 touches as well, goal assist. Just an absolute workhorse, and keep up the great work, Bradley. Paddy kicked 2 goals too in his newfound role up forward. Also got a goal assist next to his name, and entered the centre bounce end of that 3rd term, so the last quarter when things were getting a bit more serious out of nowhere. But really excited to see Paddy go forward, start forward, and then go into the mid if and when we need him. Scratch was really good. He ended up with a goal, could have had a couple next to his name, 5 marks, clunked a few, dropped a few, brought plenty to ground, but most importantly, he's taken over Hawksmantle very nicely early on in the piece here. 4 goal assists, which is an outstanding effort. Danger got the record in the 2022 grand final with, I think it was 6 goal assists, so 4 is a lot, 6 is unbelievable. Henry had 3 goals from his 9 disposals. He never gets a massive amount of ball, but again, very much like Cameron, just doesn't need to be involved for 100% of the game, but for those moments that matter. And he definitely contributed in some key moments late last year, 4 in the prelim and nearly dragged us over the line. But yeah, play well, ended up with 3. O'Sullivan was good. Clunked 7 marks from his 11 disposals and played well down back. I mean, it was just Murphy Reid and I'm trying to think of his name. Tracy only kicked 1 and Amos was goalless. I don't know if he played on him directly. I'm sure they would have swapped and changed. O'Connor was good, 13 disposals. Loves a mark. Does Mark. O'Sheen was alright. He had the 4 tackles, 4 marks, 6 disposals. Did get a few kicked in on him. I don't know if Murphy Reid was his opponent the whole time, but yeah, some questionable defensive moments, but in general, he'll learn a lot, and he'll definitely get better with each game as time goes on. Clark got activated as a sub, I believe, late in that 3rd or in the last quarter. And yeah, looked good, looked solid out of the mid, out of the stoppages. Got a couple out the front, so yeah, some green shoots there going well. And that is a wrap of that one. Let's have a bit of a look at next week. I believe we've got the Saints on Saturday night. Let's have a look, ski. Saints, yes we do. Marvel Stadium, my favourite venue to watch football. No sarcasm there. Saints, they had a pretty ugly loss to the Crows, 10-goal loss at the Adelaide Oval, whilst we've kind of got the opposite form line going in. I must say though, they have definitely been odd clashes in the past. They've got us at at Marvel the last 2 times, so as we can see there. And it was very close. Round 1 last year was 8 points in it, and yeah, Paddy sealed the deal there at the end. But yeah, the game last year was just really annoying. It was yeah, we were playing really well, and then after half time, the Saints turned it up, and we kind of went to sleep, and then yeah, they ran over the top of us in a big way. We leaked scores so easily that night, so yeah, it was a bit of a weird one where they just took complete control of the game. And then in 2022, they defeated us at Marvel as well, so I think they've got us there actually at least the last 3 times. The 2022 game was a bit of a it was a line in the sand kind of game. Kicked us into gear, and from there didn't lose a game. So from a historical perspective, this game's typically pretty tough for us for whatever reason. 33-point winners when we had a fair few injuries towards the end of 2023, and premiership hangover has to be said. So look, it's got banana peel game sort of written there, but I think after the Richmond and Carlton game, there's no game that's really safe at all, to be completely frank. So yeah, look, it's going to have its challenges, even though the Saints didn't play that well one week. They'll be keen to respond. We'll be keen to continue on our good form. But yeah, it's definitely going to be tricky. Hopefully, plenty of health from the Cats side. We'll get it done. And the Saints will still have a few out, you would suspect, but clearly, if you don't play your A game, then you're probably staring down the barrel of a loss. So whilst the Saints' form line's not great, and whilst ours looks good, it doesn't necessarily give you the win. We saw that with Richmond and Carlton on the Thursday night. So that's a bit of a preview into next week. I think we'll get the job done. I think we'll win. You can't be really too confident. I think just purely based on personnel, we should be able to get the job done. But if the game was based on personnel only, then there'll be a lot of games decided in weird fashion. No doubt about that. All right. But that's a wrap of the review. Geelong and Fremantle. It was Geelong by 78 points. A massive win. A great way to kickstart the season off, and the Cats pairing nice and early, which is good to see. There's a long season, very long season, and you can look great one week, you can look pretty poor the next, or vice versa. We saw that with the Pies, and it's going to be one of those really odd, even seasons. Again, I'm sure of that. So, you can be on top of the mountain one week, and then next week, staring down the barrel of the top 4, bottom 4 even, if you're not playing well. So there'll be fluctuations, suffice to say. And you can't take any game for granted, but any 4 points is a good 4 points in my book. Alright, that's all from me, folks. Hope you enjoyed the review. Comment your thoughts down in the comments below on how you saw the game and the, I suppose, interesting bits that you took out of it. Give the video a like if you enjoyed the review, and don't forget to subscribe away so you can keep up to date with all the reviews that I do, and I also put my AFL tipping cap on as well and have a crack at that. So that's all from me. Thanks for tuning in, crew. Have a good one. I'll catch you on the next video.